What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 27 of Nintendo Tonight, and today we'll be talking about some Nintendo things. So, Thomas, you want to kick it off?
No, I don't. PJ, hot potato, your turn.
No, I don't.
Go.
I don't want it. I'm hot potatoing it back.
All right, well, I guess I'll take it. I was trying to get someone else to do the intro this time, and no one wanted to do it. So, Max stepped up to the plate. You know, clap it up for Mac right there.
I tried my best.
I mean, PJ, I don't know what you're doing. You were just not helpful at all. But hey, I wouldn't expect anything less.
So we're good.
After last podcast, at the end of the last podcast, your catastrophe. I can't believe HR didn't fire you after that. Yeah. It's kind of weird though, because PJ is HR, so he could just do whatever he wants, and the company there are no repercussions. It's a slight issue with the way Stop Media is currently set up. But anyway, what's going on, guys? I don't even need to do the intro because Mac already did it, but we are on episode 27. We got a crazy episode for you guys. Crazy episode. We have a first for the Nintendo Tonight podcast. We have a debate between Mac from the Switch Stop and also from Nintendo Tonight, and me, also from both of those same channels. And
just
we
if it
are
wasn't
going to be
clear enough, yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't want them to think like, Thomas from
Xbox.
Smashcast?
Yeah, Thomas from Smashcast or Sony Stop or whatever. So, just making sure it's clear. And then PJ, who you might know from the Switch Stop channel and this podcast, except not the intro, he will be moderating this debate. I don't even remember if I said it. It's a debate. We're doing a debate. Me and Mac are debating. I am debating on a pro Mario Kart platform. How can you be anti Mario Kart? Well, Mac, this little guy, is anti-Mario Kart. No, he is pro Nintendo Kart, and we're doing like which one's better, that sort of thing, because the Nintendo Kart idea has been pretty big recently. Right after that, we will jump right on in. Well, actually, we'll probably have a little bit of banter in between, because now that the audio listeners are the only people who view the entire episode, or I guess not view. But since you guys are the ones who get the entire episode, we can throw in a little bit of banter for you. Then we got an untitled rumor segment. I just read off. That is so good. We had it listed in our planning thing as untitled rumor segment because we wanted to choose a rumor closer to the podcast.
Yeah,
now
we've chosen the rumor
stuff.
There you go.
Talk about Mario Kart 9 stuff. Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool. Not untitled. Oh, that's so good.
All good. I'll take it over, dude. And then we're going to go to a best Pokemon game bracket. So we have a little bracket made and stuff, and we are going to decide which game is the best mainline Pokemon game ever. Then we're going to go to the Q&A. Obviously, you guys ask questions in the Switch Stop Discord, so we're going to go through a few of those, and that's it. So anyway.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, great.
Sounds
plan,
like a
dude.
great
Who came
plan.
up with it? Hell yeah.
We're all geniuses. All right. Before we jump into the first segment, two things I do want to quickly say. First, anyone have anything they want to bring up, discuss, just talk about? Go for it, Mac.
If you're listening to this podcast and you have not watched Thomas's Mario Kart video that he dropped on Wednesday, you've got to go watch that.
Mac gets a raise.
It is definitely the best video on the channel, and if you haven't watched it, then like, what is wrong with you? Because like,
what is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
Mac gets a raise.
Mac
gets a raise.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I give the Grammy to myself. No, I really did enjoy that video. Not many people watch it, which probably on me for thumbnailing and titling, but it's also just not the type of video we normally post, so it is what it is. But yeah, thank you, Mac. I did really enjoy that. I was going to shout that out probably later in the ep, but might as well do it up at the front, getting people right out of the gate.
We love to see it.
We do love to see that cross promotion. The second thing I was going to say is, audio listeners, you were the only ones hearing this. I am sorry for what is about to happen, because this debate we have made Google Slides for. Now, I don't know about Mac's slides, because we have made it very secretive. We are not allowed to see each other's slides. PJ hasn't even seen any of them. I do not know what's on Mac's slides, but I would assume they are pretty funny, and I think mine are there's a little bit of comedy there as well. We will try and describe what is, what is going on, but this might be one of the segments where you kind of would like to probably watch the visual of the segment. Yep. Now, luckily, we have planned it super intelligently, so the visual should, if everything goes according to plan, come out on the same day as the audio podcast comes out. So hit up the Nintendo Tonight channel on YouTube. PJ's confident. I mean, hey, if it comes out a day late, PJ, I'm blaming you, because you're the editor. But
Rip, dude. Yeah.
Rip. No, but seriously, the the visual should be out, so just listen to this first and then go back and watch the visual, because the visual will have a bunch of stuff cut out, because we will go on rants and whatnot, and that is generally how those go.
And then come back to the podcast and then listen to us go through it, and then go back and watch it for a third time. And then
check out
watch
the Mario Kart video. Yeah.
And
then subscribe to everything. And go to our unannounced third
Nintendo
channel. Oh, he dropped the name. All right. He leaked.
All good.
Leaky? Leak of the week.
Leak of the week. We do have. Rumor of the week. I'm yet to make us a jingle for leak of the week. That we can do that. Yeah. We'll do that later in the episode. We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll have
a jingle contest.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Now, one of you guys get in GarageBand if you're musicians behind the scenes. Get in GarageBand.
Battle of the Bands on Nintendo Tonight.
I will create some super fire heat. Did you guys know? I made the Switch Stop intro jingle that is just the 3D World level clear sound effect. The first part of it's 8-bit. I made that, so I mean you're looking at Beethoven right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it was painful because I do not I play drums. I'm halfway decent at percussion and all that, but I played piano for a bit, but I don't know too much about music, so my theory brain has left me. Anyway, I think it's about time. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I'm now finally going to click on watch stream. PJ, if you want to bring up here, just bring this up, and then you honestly can just start off the intro, because we're gonna record an intro for the segment naturally, and then put that in front of there. So you just take it off as if this is kind of the start of the whole thing. And audio listeners, once again, sorry if some stuff doesn't make sense. I'll try and describe everything for you guys, but I mean, we're giving a visual presentation on an audio form podcast.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, someone should have thought this through. That's probably me, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
Likely. Okay. All right. Mario Kart 9 has hands down been the biggest rumor in all of Nintendo really this year. And there's been rumors swirling about, is this new Mario Kart game going to be Mario Kart 9? Or is it going to be kind of a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate style and bring in characters from other series? So today, we are going to be debating which is the better option for the series. Is Mario Kart 9 the more likely way? Or is Nintendo Kart the way to go? So.
All right. I believe I'm first, right?
Yes, sir.
Why are we laughing?
Because he said it was the biggest leak of the year, a rumor, and it's been 20 days.
It's true. It's true, though. It's not cap.
I guess he's on a technicality. PJ is right. You thrive in those little technicalities. All right. I would say next slide, please.
Yes, sir.
In defense.
Sorry.
Judge,
Continue.
get him out of the courtroom now.
Mac, you really gotta calm down, dude.
I will.
This is
all right.
Insane. Come on, man.
Quiet on the set. All right. In defense of Mario Kart. So what is Mario Kart? As PJ has beautifully brought up this wonderfully crafted slide by yours truly. I think we would all agree, correct? PJ, would you agree that Mario Kart 64 is Mario Kart?
Yes.
Would you agree that Mario Kart Double Dash is Mario Kart?
Yes.
Would you agree that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is also Mario Kart?
Yep.
All right. So with that being admitted that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is in fact a Mario Kart game, please, PJ, please press next slide for me.
Sure, dude.
All right. So this is the roster. When everyone thinks about Nintendo Kart, they think, oh, the roster and the tracks will be so cool. Well, I don't really think so. This is the roster of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and as you can see, the entire bottom row is already characters who do not originate from the Mario Kart or just Mario franchise as a whole. Because obviously Mii's, I would say, they're not from Mario. They're from their own franchise. They're recognized as their own franchise in Smash Bros. So I went with that. So also Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, love the game. The roster is pretty terrible. The roster is pretty just awful. It's bloated with a bunch of characters that no one ever uses, mainly the Koopalings and also Metal Mario and Pink Gold Peach. But I'll just let them stay here for now. So, PJ, if you press the next button, you see about 1/5 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe roster is non-Mario characters. No, 1/5 taking out the Koopalings and Tanuki Mario, just the absolute complete clones that no one's ever going to use. About 1/5 of the roster is already non-Nintendo characters. I think that's a perfectly fine amount. Now press next slide again, PJ. you will see that if we compare this to Smash Bros., which is what most people compare the kind of Nintendo Kart idea to, Mario only has around 10.9% of the entire roster. Only 9 characters in the 82-character roster are actually Mario characters. And PJ, press this next slide, but you might want to avert your eyes, because Fire Emblem owns 8 out of 82 of the characters. There's 9.9%. Awful. Look at that logo up at the top, Fire Emblem Kart. Is that what you want to see on Mario Kart? No. Press the button again, PJ. Again, avert your eyes. Is this what you want to see? Is this what you want our sacred racing game to become? Audio listeners, if you don't understand, it's a picture of Mario Kart with a bunch of the racers being replaced by, I think, Roy, Byleth, like just random Fire Emblem characters.
And Lucina,
yeah, and it is probably the worst Photoshop job ever, because it wasn't even using Photoshop; it was using Google Slides. So that should give you an idea of how bad this is. All right, next slide, PJ. Mario Kart. The characters are great, but really, who really cares about the characters? No one plays Mario Kart for the characters. They play them for the tracks. PJ, hit us with the next slide, please. These are all the tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, you will notice that very, very few of these tracks are actually modeled after Mario locations from the Mushroom Kingdom, or take any inspiration from Mario himself. I'm not counting things like Mario Circuit and Mario Kart Stadium, because those just take the name of the character. Like, nothing Yoshi Valley related or Yoshi Circuit related actually really ties back to anything from the Yoshi's Island games or anything like that. So PJ, if you press next slide for me, you will see every single Mario Kart course from 8 Deluxe that I would say directly takes inspiration from the Mario franchise. Bowser's Castle, I'll give it to you, because, Bowser is always in a castle. DK Jungle is just a direct rip from DK Jungle. Obviously took inspiration. I'd say Piranha Plant Slide kind of takes inspiration, because you're kind of going into the sewers, and that's where Piranha Plants, I guess, roam. And then Twisted Mansion is like Boo's Mansion. I would say those 4 are the only ones that really take inspiration from Mario, like, as a franchise. As you can see, PJ, if you press the button again, that's 4 red X's. There are 5 green X's. The green X's are over tracks that already are inspired from other Nintendo franchises. You got 2 from F-Zero. You have Hyrule Circuit, Excite Bike Arena, and Animal Crossing, which is technically 4 tracks, but I narrowed it down to 1 for Mac's sake in this video. We have 5. There are already 5 courses in the kind of Nintendo Kart style, and only 4 from Mario Kart. Press the next button, PJ. I forgot I put this slide in there. There are already more Nintendo tracks than Mario tracks. So press it again, PJ. This kind of leads me to my core thesis. The best Mario Kart tracks are not themed. There's one exception I will give you, and that is Big Blue. However, it is themed after F-Zero, which is already a racing game, so that just doesn't transfer over. Take a look at Hyrule Circuit. I honestly do not like that track at all. Take a look at Animal Crossing. I don't like that track either. The only joy is seeing that it's, there's Zelda, you're in the Hyrule Castle, or, there's KK Slider off to the side. And those are cool things, but they don't inherently make better gameplay mechanics. All of Mario Kart's best gameplay tracks-wise, we're thinking Mount Wario, we're thinking Rainbow Road. All of those tracks don't come from, Mario. Like, Wario's not known for owning a ski resort. They don't come from Nintendo, obviously. They just come from the creativity of the developers. And I fear that going into Nintendo Kart would kind of make it more of a bunch of cameos rather than actual creative tracks, which is what we have for the most part now. I think that's my last slide. I kind of forget. There we go. Okay.
All right. Thomas with a very strong case. Mac, your turn to defend the Nintendo Kart idea.
All right. Thomas, what's your favorite track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
Big Blue, but objection.
Case closed.
No, objection. As I said.
No, I'd like to hear this.
You would actually like to hear the objection?
I would.
Okay. As I said, Big Blue is inspired by another racing game, which is F-Zero. So the wind just knocked something off my window. The Big Blue,
Christmas tree situation all over again.
Bro, tell me about it. All right, I'll just restart that so you can cut it for the segment. So it's chilling. Audio listeners, you get the little behind the scenes. Something flew off my window. Crazy. No, okay, what was I going to... Oh, yeah. Big Blue is inspired by F-Zero, which is another racing game. It's also the only other racing series Nintendo would have, so they wouldn't really be able to pull, actual racetracks that could be good from, like, Metroid or The Legend of Zelda or Kirby or Star Fox. Also, Big Blue is, I think the last actual appearance of Big Blue was over a decade before Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, probably even more, so they really didn't, it was kind of just, they took the name of Big Blue and I guess slightly the visuals, but they didn't really translate the course over. They kind of just completely made the course its own thing. So I wouldn't really say that's...
All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Can you continue?
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, he obviously thinks Big Blue is the best track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That is for sure. So if you go to the next slide, I'd like to ask Thomas, what series is this?
I don't know, and Nintendo doesn't either.
Thomas, please answer the question.
It's from
F-Zero. It's F-Zero.
F-Zero. Sorry, Your Honor.
It's F-Zero. You go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
F-Zero isn't a Mario game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It is not.
It's a
Correct.
Nintendo game, correct? It's a Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm.
So it only makes sense that we should open up Mario Kart to Nintendo characters and games. So if you go to our next slide, you'll see a Goomba. You go to the next slide, you'll see an angry sun. These are the characters we'll get if Mario Kart stays Mario Kart. You really want to see these two characters in the next Mario Kart game? No. Okay, maybe we get Pauline or Cappy, but Cappy's a hat.
Or Diddy Kong. We're still
Diddy
missing
Kong.
him.
It's a Donkey Kong character that's not a Mario Kart character.
He was in Mario Kart. He was in like all of them.
Is Donkey Kong a Mario character? That's the question.
I will say no, because I think when I was doing my Smash Bros. Comparison, I didn't count the Donkey Kong characters.
All right. So let's just go to the next slide. Captain Falcon. Next.
I never wait. Hold on.
Pikachu.
Go back. No. Your Honor, please go back. I never realized Captain Falcon had nipples built into his suit. What is that?
Yo, it reminds me of that Batman and Robin costume from the 80s, like the Michael Keaton, I think, or maybe before that. But anyway.
Objection. Order in the court. Captain Falcon.
You're the defendant.
That's what Dom is supposed to be calling.
That's your job, PJ. No, that's you. You got to say order in the court. Slam your gavel. You're the
moderator.
No. I thought you said
moderator.
objection. No, I thought you said Okay.
Oh.
Anyway.
I don't know.
All good.
Anyways, next. Pikachu. We need good characters in Mario Kart. Go to the next slide. Do you really want to make this Pikachu upset?
No,
Look
I
at
do
him.
not want Ryan
He
Reynolds
wants to
in
be
Mario Kart.
He's so sad because he's not in Mario Kart.
So
Next.
true.
Some of the most incredible characters and most iconic characters from past games come from games that are not in the Mario series.
This is a
If you
fact.
look, this is Funky Kong, which is not a Mario character, as said by the defendant or whatever you are. I don't know jury words or anything.
Yeah,
but you said that Donkey Kong is not a Mario character, yet you say you don't want Nintendo characters in Mario Kart.
No.
Go to the next slide. No. You don't want characters outside of the Mario series in Mario Kart. I just need to re-explain that. You go to our next slide.
That's not what I said.
Rob in Mario Kart DS is not a Mario Kart character. If you go to our next slide, you can see Isabelle, Villager, and these incredible characters deserve to be in Mario Kart. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that people think that just because they're not Mario Kart characters, they can't be in Mario Kart. This is insane. So
what do you
if we
mean they
continue-
deserve to be in Mario Kart? They're in Mario Kart
Thomas,
right there.
Hold on. We'll have a debate after Mac has finished his
Okay,
presentation.
go.
So
Let's
please
go
finish.
back to Big Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Big Blue, Isabelle, Villager, Funky Kong, Rob. Do you know what all those characters and tracks have in common? They're not in the Mario series.
Yeah, okay.
Next. People say that Nintendo Kart is going to change the series in some weird, like, funky way that it's not going to feel the same anymore. Well, I argue that Mario Kart has always been Nintendo Kart. We go to our next slide. Nintendo Kart is just Mario Kart. They're not going to change the name. Mario Kart is just such a big name that it would be stupid for Nintendo to change the name. Well, we've seen the rumors for Crossroads, but we're not going to talk about that. But
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I argue that Nintendo Kart has always been the future of the Mario Kart series. And if they don't add new characters that aren't in the Mario series, I think that Mario Kart's going to become stale. So that's my case. And take it or leave it, but I believe that the future is Nintendo Kart.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay, so now that Mac has finished his presentation, let's open the floor to all discussion. Thomas,
press the button again.
What button?
Sorry, just the next slide button, so it goes to the. There you go. Just restate what you were saying for the sake of the vid.
Okay. Okay, now we can open the floor. Thomas, you can kind of refute what Mac has said and just explain how wrong he is. So go ahead.
All right. First of all, Mac, I think we really have a lot more in common than you might think. I think we're not coming from two sides of the same coin. We both want the same thing, and that is for these Mario Kart games to be the best they possibly can be. Personally, I think if Nintendo goes down the Nintendo Kart route, even if like you said, they don't rename the game to Nintendo Kart, and they keep it Mario Kart.
I don't believe they will.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. I don't think that's even part of the question. I think though, if they do go towards the more Smash Bros. Style Smash Bros. Style way, the game, the core fun of Mario Kart will be lost as they try and shoehorn in as many characters as possible. I think that a lot of the problem I have with the Nintendo Kart idea stems from the fact that, as you said, we've already kind of had Nintendo Kart. I am perfectly fine with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's representation of other characters. I like Big Blue, as you said. I enjoy playing as the Inklings, the villagers. I like that there's a Splatoon map in the battle mode. What I don't personally enjoy is the idea that these outsiders, so should I say, these non-Mario characters could eventually rise up and outnumber the amount of Mario characters in the game. I personally find that revolting. I mean, what's next? First, they're gonna come to our racing game. Second, they're gonna be coming to our house. Like, we just don't want that. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. And I think if we keep our nice pure Mario Kart game, then we'll be A-okay.
Ack?
I don't I don't understand your reasoning though. I understand you want to keep Mario Kart pure, but why can't we let these non-Mario characters, outsiders as you called them, into the game? I think it's a little ridiculous, and I don't know, just we don't need some random like Koopaling, as you said. You literally just knocked off 5% of the entire roster when you were showing the roster, saying, "Oh, they're basically just clones." Well, like if you're just gonna kick off half of the roster, not half, like a quarter, a third, or fifth. I don't know what it is. I don't know the percentage. You did the math. It's weird that you think we could just replace. It would be so easy just to replace all the Koopalings with like 5 Nintendo characters, like Pikachu, Captain Falcon, Kirby, Star Fox, and like, I don't know, Pit. I don't know. It just makes sense. Like, that's where I view it.
Yeah.
But
I understand that, and I will concede characters, sure, as long as, we don't lose some of the Mario characters we've had. I don't care, bring in as many guests as we want, as long as the focus is clearly on Mario. Yeah. What I don't like is the idea of a bunch of the courses being made surrounding other IP. I really don't think there's a single good course out of the 5 that are non-Nintendo focused besides Mute City and Big Blue. With Mute City being pretty good and Big Blue being obviously my favorite. I think that's only because F-Zero is a racing game, so it inherently lends itself well. When the Mario Kart team tried to make a Legend of Zelda course, an Animal Crossing course, all they did was take a incredibly basic course layout and plop a Hyrule Castle in the middle of it, or plop animals from Animal Crossing around the sides. And I think that's cool, but I don't want that to take over the incredible ideas that the Mario Kart team often has.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that. I understand that.
I think we really came to an agreement here, honestly, more than anything.
Come to a common ground for sure.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
Yep.
So is the consensus, just so I can kind of have it on the record, is the consensus here that we want to keep the Mario Kart name, but we don't mind if there's other series representation in it, just as long as there is still the main focus on Mario?
I agree with that statement, and I also agree that I enjoy creative tracks. Like, my favorite track in Mario Kart is Music Park, and that has nothing to do with any game in any Mario series. So, like, I totally agree with that. I do think having some courses from outside games would be interesting, but, you know, different perceptions, different views. I
could see that.
Yeah.
No, I could agree with that. I think if maybe this gets more, we are completely out of the debate at this point and into speculation, but say the next Mario Kart has 48 tracks again to, be at least equal with 8 Deluxe plus its DLC, or 8 plus its DLC. If we get 16 brand new Mario Kart tracks and 16 retro tracks like we normally do, and then they did 16 interesting, I have to specify that, interesting tracks from other IP, I'd be fine with that. I'd say the 16 from the other IP should probably be cut down to like 8, and we can have, the 4 and 4 go to the other two categories, so it's 20, 20, and 8. But I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed. What I don't want to see happen is something like Smash Bros, where there's a battlefield, there's Final Destination, there's, I guess, the training stage, and those are the only original stages, and the rest are based off the different characters.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me just get a question in really quickly. For the character roster of this next game, whatever it may be called, how would the both of you feel if, when it comes down to it and you're looking at the roster after the game, that there is more characters from other Nintendo IP added in than Mario Kart? And what I mean by that is new characters. Like, say that there's like 6 new Nintendo characters, but only like 4 new Mario Kart characters.
I personally believe that's okay, because I don't think there's any other new characters besides, like I said, Pauline, Cappy. I can't really think of any other characters that are important to the Mario series that can come to the game. So, I think the next Mario Kart game, if they're going to add new characters, I think it has to come from outside the Mario series.
Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I think I would be fine if it was, like, as you said, 6 and 4. What I just don't want to see happen is there be no new Mario characters and
just all.
Yeah, like I think as long as the ratio, as long as it stays under a third of non-outsiders, I will say, as long as it stays a third outsiders and 2/3 Mario characters, I'm fine with that. I just don't want it to get overcrowded, because then how is it even Mario Kart anymore?
Yep, gotcha.
Understandable.
Well, I think we have come to a common ground here, boys.
What a fun debate. That was probably one of my favorite segments we've ever done.
Yep.
I think that was probably one of my favorite segments we've ever done.
I could have prepared a little better, I feel like.
Oh, I think we both could have.
Because I did that, like, for audio listeners, I did that, like, 15 minutes before we started. So, like,
yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Definitely that was a blast. I forgot my slides during it. I forgot what I had next, which was a little unfortunate.
I saw Mac was looking at his laptop to his left or right.
I had my slides so I could get prepared beforehand. Yeah,
should have been doing that. No, that was fun. And honestly,
it was.
I could not care. I think my final statement was probably how I feel the most, but like I honestly wouldn't be that pissed if they made it Nintendo Kart. So I guess before we jump into this Mario Kart related leak for the audio listeners, do we have any solid banter, anything we want to discuss, or just hop right into a leak of the week, I guess?
Thomas, we can talk about, and I know this is away from Nintendo, if you want to talk about the Patriots and what happened with that.
Might have
crapshoot.
Nintendo segment. All right, we've done these before. We'll do them again. This will hurt though, because I don't want to talk about the Patriots. I think our defense just our defense saw the COVID numbers. They saw Omicron was getting bad, and they started practicing social distancing, so none of them had to miss training camp for next season. So they were all playing 6 feet apart from the Bills wide receivers, and Josh Allen just had his way with our entire defense. It was awful. I think if you rewatch the games, I've been like intermittently rewatching all the like condensed games down to 2 hours from the season just to see Mac and see how set up we are for
Mac Jones,
next year.
not Mac from
Mac Jones. Sorry,
just so we're clear.
Yeah, I should actually definitely specify that. Thank you for saying, PJ. But I think whatever happened in the bye week, Bill Belichick needs to never do that again, because we lost 4 out of our last 5 games in the season, and that's like our final 5 games were the 5 games immediately following the bye week.
And the Miami Miracle got us, right?
Yeah, we had a 7-game win streak going into the bye, and then we lost 4 out of our last 5, and the only one we won was against the Jets, I believe. So what were we doing? Impressive. Or no, it was against the Jags, yeah, but what were we doing?
Still,
I could not tell you. It was embarrassing to the highest degree. I do think it's funny, though, that a bunch of the Bills fans and their starting safety, I forget his name, but their starting safety, like while he was hyping everyone up in the huddle, because he's like, I guess like a locker room leader there, he was like, look how cocky those guys are, this is the end of an era for them tonight. I was a little confused, because the end of the era came 2 years ago when we lost Tom Brady. This is a completely new era. They're just upset that we were able to rebuild and get back into the playoffs so fast when it took them like almost a decade when they went had to get Josh Allen. They had a longer playoff drought, I think, actually. But whatever.
It was like before the 2000s. It was something absurd.
It was more than a decade. Because I remember they got in a couple years ago off like Andy Dalton throwing a pass, and their locker room was going crazy, the Bills locker room. Because
remember,
they needed like Andy Dalton to beat the Ravens. So it was back when Andy Dalton was on the Bengals. So it was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just think it's funny that they're very like, oh, this is the end of an era for them, but we have a rookie quarterback. So I don't understand how it's the end of an era. We went like, they didn't sweep us or anything. We still beat them in a game. If anything, it's an end of an era.
3 passes, by the way.
Yeah. So I'm not too pissed about it. I mean, it just, the only thing that bumps me out is that our team looked so good during that 7-game win streak that coming back down to earth and losing 4 out of the last 5 was a little bit of a shock. But to be honest, if you told me at the beginning of this season that we would get to the playoffs relatively comfortably, I would have been happy. I mean, we have a rookie quarterback in a very new locker room. Jonnu Smith, holy crap, I've never seen a worse acquisition in my life. He played terribly this entire season. N'Keal Harry, please cut him. I mean, I've been joking that N'Keal's the GOAT for a while. I can't even do that anymore. Christian Wilkerson came in for 1 game and outdid N'Keal's touchdowns for the entire season by only playing 1 game. And then we put Christian Wilkerson back on the practice squad. So I don't know if Bill is going senile or what's going on with that. But please, just get rid of N'Keal Harry and tell Jonnu to start actually playing the game like he did in Tennessee, and then I think we'll probably be good. Oh, and we have to actually get a starting number 1 wide receiver, because Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne are fun, but they're not number 1 threats. So that's all I have to say.
Was N'Keal Harry the receiver that they took instead of taking DK Metcalf, or was that Jacoby Myers?
Yep, he was above DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel in the same draft. So
and you just watched Deebo take apart the Cowboys like literally by himself. Running
that was
and
good,
catching
though.
The football.
I was glad the Cowboys lost.
Oh, I
that
was
just
so
makes me
happy. I love that.
Why would Dak run it?
It was a stupid play.
dumb.
Mike McCarthy is a terrible coach. My friend who's a Green Bay Packers fan is like, they're going to lose to some coaching blunder. Just watch. Mike McCarthy is like a terrible coach, so overrated. Yeah. And look what happens. There's a terrible coaching blunder, and he's blaming the refs, even though it would have been a penalty and a 10-second runoff if they had just snapped it. So entirely, it's they're a not well-coached team, I guess, because they didn't understand you have to hand the ball to the ref before you can snap it. You can't snap it yourself.
The ref has to get like his hand on it, and then
he has to touch the ball before you can snap it.
Yeah, but not only that, he has to actually to touch it. He actually has to set it too. Like, you watch clips of Larry Fitzgerald during like a 2-minute drill. He catches the ball, gets out of bounds, sprints over to the ref, and hands it to him. Like, there, like, players out there will go and find the ref instead of just waiting for them to get there.
They weren't coached to go give the ball to the ref, which is
exactly
Mike McCarthy's fault.
And so you got the Cowboys doing that. You got Chase Claypool dancing instead of letting his team get a final playoff. So I say Bill Belichick senile, but I would still rather have him than 90% of coaches in the league. So.
Yeah, and then you had the injured to hell Saints this season, which still somehow got a winning season. I have no clue how we pulled that off. I'm completely shocked. Somehow, I think it was just our defense. Like, our defense has just been good for so many years. I'm so scared we're going to lose them to cap space this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I mean, if you guys get Jameis back, it was a
weird season. Yeah, let's just hope. Yeah,
could be good.
I remember I said to my dad, I said to my dad when we were watching the Bills-Patriots game, the playoffs, and we were down 28-3, and I was like, Dad, we can win this game. And he's like, how the hell are we going to do that? We're down 25 at half. And I said, well, I mean, if Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski come out the locker room at half, I think we could probably win.
Yeah, that was the only shot we had.
Yeah, literally.
Mac played well. I will say that. Jones. I just want to clarify, Mac Jones played well.
Yep.
I could be a quarterback.
You could someday.
Okay.
I mean,
one day.
Maybe even tomorrow.
When I grow up,
The Saints honestly could have used you for a bit there.
True.
Trevor Simeon. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Simeon
we should probably get back
Dimian.
to Mario Kart. Yeah.
All right, let's run it.
Good one, dude.
Mario Kart 10. All right. So, Mario Kart obviously is Nintendo's biggest franchise. It's par none. I mean, everyone is waiting for a brand new Mario Kart game, and we might be getting one pretty soon. Now, I will quickly say Leaky Pandy has not always been right. He does not have a perfect track record, as pretty much no leaker at this current time has a perfect track record. But I would trust this guy more so than some other leakers. I do think there are a lot of more notable, quote-unquote, industry insiders who are just not reliable at all, and at least this guy has gotten quite a few things right in the past, so I don't know. I would say, obviously take it with a grain of salt, but it is interesting to discuss nonetheless.
For sure. All right, so Leaky Pandy on Twitter, obviously, is leaking Mario Kart stuff once again, as we went through in the last episode. So he says in this tweet, Mario Kart 10/Crossroads new info, Mario and adjacent Nintendo IP present as usual. I would hope so. Crossover IP known of is going to be Advance Wars, Animal Crossing, ARMS, Balloon Fight, F-Zero, Kid Icarus, Splatoon, and Zelda. And the only non-Nintendo IP is Rabbids, which could be interesting. Also goes on to say that there are some crossover elements, and these just include characters, items, and courses. And the thing that surprised me when reading this is items from different IP. That is kind of odd, but I guess we'll see how that turns out. And then in the last tweet here in this quote-unquote leak, he goes on to say, new info for this supposed game, no coins, one item slot. There are two item box types being big and small, small box hands, small items, like a single shell and mushroom, stuff like that. And a big box hands you powerful items like 3 shells, a star, and etc. And lastly, passing through a box while holding a small item upgrades it to the big version. So obviously, we've heard that this Mario Kart Crossroads / Mario Kart 10 game is going to change up the formula a little bit, but I really didn't expect it to really go this far by changing the actual formula of like item boxes and stuff like this. So what do you guys think? Just take it away.
Well, the first thing that pops out right off the bat is Rabbids.
Yeah, that is very strange.
I understand the whole Mario and Rabbids like RPG thing or whatever, but that doesn't make sense. I take back everything I said about Nintendo Kart and having new characters, and Rabbids is going to be in there.
Yeah, I hear
yeah. But also the item boxes, that sounds kind of interesting. Like, I'd like more than one item slot just because I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for like 5 years now. But I don't know. I think the small and big item box is something different, something to change up the formula a bit. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I would agree. Something I noticed in this character section. Sorry, let me put my water bottle away. All right. Something I noticed in the characters that they listed off here. All these IP are very kid friendly. Like Smash Bros. Obviously, you have a little bit of Metroid. You have a little bit of Star Fox. These are IP that can get, relatively dark. Like you're blowing people up and stuff. Zelda, I guess you're also killing things, but I wouldn't really say Zelda's that dark, and Zelda's obviously also already in Mario Kart. Then, besides that, I was like, why is there Advance Wars ARMS, Balloon Fight of all games. These are just Nintendo's, I guess, childish IP. Because again, like, I guess Nintendo is very protective of the Mario Kart brand, and they don't want to do anything that could endanger a T for teen rating. That's the only thing I can think of. They just still want to very, very much have that like kid-friendly vibe. And Rabbids does go along with that because, hey, if I'm a little kid, I don't know anything about Rayman because Ubisoft does not, promote Rayman. So therefore, I don't know anything about Rabbids besides the fact that Mario once did a thing with them and is, about to do another thing with them with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So it kind of makes sense. I mean, it really it's weird as a Nintendo fan, but understanding what Nintendo's going for here with their most popular franchise, it does kind of make sense why they picked such a eclectic, weird cast of characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, I definitely didn't understand Advance Wars Balloon Fight. I kind of understood ARMS because, like, it's a new IP-ish, so I kind of understood putting that in there, but I guess the kid-friendly aspect, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's weird.
I don't understand why ARMS is being put in here, considering that game is fully irrelevant. Like, and the only reason that there was like an ARMS rep in Smash is because like it literally fits the script. But an ARMS character in Mario Kart, like, it just does not make sense whatsoever. Like, it's not like prevalent enough. It's not talked about at all. The only time it's talked about is like when it's actually introduced into a game like Smash and Mario Kart. So I don't understand why they would put an ARMS character in, but I mean, other than that, I kind of get the kid-friendly idea that you're going for, Thomas, for sure, but very strange. Rabbids definitely threw me off. I was like, what in the hell is that? But yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that ARMS thing, but I feel like if you did Google Trends right now and looked up ARMS game and compared it to F-Zero, I think ARMS game would be higher.
Yeah.
Like,
totally
like we say, like, why are they putting ARMS in this dead game?
F-Zero fits that script though.
Yeah, but from Nintendo's perspective, at using Mario Kart as like, hey, this is going to sell 30 million plus copies, mainly to kids or people who aren't, big Nintendo fans like us, would we rather put in, let's say like a Metroid thing or an ARMS game? Because even though Metroid Dread is selling pretty well, ARMS has probably sold better. Like, ARMS didn't sell bad at all. ARMS sold pretty well. It's weird. Like, I don't know. I understand it. I'm not saying I'm a super big fan, but I definitely understand where they're coming from with that. Like, ARMS has a higher brand recognition, I'd say, than a lot of other Nintendo IPs where we're like, hey, if, ARMS is going to be in, why isn't Star Fox in? Why isn't F-Zero in? ARMS is just bigger. Even though we don't really like that.
Yeah. Like, Advance Wars 2, that so weird.
Remake, Balloon Fight's the weirdest one in my opinion, because Advance Wars has a remake coming out. Balloon Fight,
a collection of so weird characters. I know. Balloon Fight, is that an NES game?
But they're not even like putting in like Pokemon. Like, that's kid friendly if we're going with that theory. So,
but it's not 100% owned by Nintendo, and they could put it in. Like, this is a crossover IP known of. So maybe for some reason they just only know about the really kid friendly ones, and we're just talking about this for nothing. But it's weird, man. It's a weird list of things.
Yeah. And the title Mario Kart 10/Crossroads, I mean, when I'm thinking about it, it makes so much sense because, crossing roads with all of these different franchises and stuff, I mean, it totally makes sense because there's no really gameplay mechanic change other than the item boxes. I wouldn't really say that's like a driving mechanic change in terms of like the anti-grab that was introduced in Mario Kart 8. So that is a significant change. Because it's going to be the first time in a while, Mario Kart 7 introduced like the glider, Mario Kart 8 introduced like anti-grav, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, it did.
Yeah. So the fact that they're not going to have like a new gameplay mechanic and they're instead just going to go, and say, okay, our quote unquote gameplay mechanic is we're bringing characters in from Advance Wars and ARMS and all this other stuff. And we're changing the way that item boxes are. And we're taking away an item slot, stuff like that. Could be interesting. I don't know. Honestly, as long as Coconut Mall is in the game, I have no complaints. But if it's not, then I will have a problem, regardless of how fun it is. So,
which name do you guys like better?
10 or Crossroads?
10 or Crossroads?
I think Crossroads makes more sense. But
yeah.
But I wonder if they want to keep on track with the numbering. I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on what internally they consider Mario Kart 9 or 10. Like, do they consider Mario Kart like live home circuit / Mario Kart Tour? Do they consider that 9, or are they considering this Mario Kart 9? In that case, we could say Mario Kart Crossroads. And then for the end of, or like the middle of the next Nintendo's system cycle, they could go with Mario Kart 10. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It really depends. I think my opinion on that would change when I figure out the answer to that. Like if somebody talks to like a Nintendo representative in like an interview for some reason, when this gets announced, like, is this considered the 9th or 10th Mario Kart game or something like that? So.
Yeah, I'd prefer Crossroads just because.
I agree.
If it was named 10, that would annoy me because the last one was 8. But yeah.
People really like saying that Mario Kart 9. Yeah, people like saying that Mario Kart Tour is 9. I just don't agree.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Like Kart Life, who's guest of the pod, he's been on before. He goes crazy on Twitter, just not crazy, but like he responds to almost everything I see him responding to is like news sites or YouTube videos calling Mario Kart 9 Mario Kart 9. And he's like, oh, the Mario Kart 9's right here. It's on the App Store. I'm like, I don't 100% agree. I like Tour a lot more than I think everyone else does. Like, besides, obviously,
for what it is,
people.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really
cool
enjoyed
idea.
Mario Kart Tour. I poured way too much money into that game. I had like the $5 gold pass for a while.
Dude, I remember when I first joined the channel, and like we weren't like pushing out a lot of stuff. Like this was right near the beginning, like right where I joined. I remember we would literally, I would be like, I just bought the gold pass, and you're like, I have it too, and then we just like grind that game.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh my god. It was a fun game. I really did enjoy it. I think my one problem with that game is they ended up adding in, like, it felt like a gacha game at the start, but they added so much new, like, karts, gliders, characters, and whatever, and then it didn't add enough new courses that it felt like it was no longer a winnable gacha game to play. Like, you would just not have stuff in the 3-star category, and it was just, I just didn't like that. But regardless, that's just so unrelated. I agree with Mac. I really do like the title. I think the title is good. I enjoy Crossroads. I like Mario Kart going back to the subtitles. I think, Double Dash or Super Circuit sound a lot better than 7 or 8. Yeah. Now, so we've talked about the actual characters and the whole crossover element. We've talked about the title of the game. I think the last and most important part, in my opinion, is the bottom of this tweet, which is talking about the items. So to quickly recap, there are no coins. How do we feel about that? Like, just quick reactions. I love it.
I kind of liked
really
the
like
coins
that.
in a weird way. I
Really?
don't know.
Thought.
I don't know. It's kind of take it or leave it, honestly. Like, I'm not going to, like, pitch a fit if coins aren't in the game, but I don't know. I kind of enjoyed them in a weird way.
Yeah. I understand that, as it
don't
did
they
give you...
increase your speed?
Yeah.
They do, yeah. They vaguely increase your stats. And I understand that, Mac, because I did like, when you're in first, like, it gives you something to do, like try and max out on 10 coins. But at least coins being in the item box, I think totally have to get rid of, because it just made the game so boring. Because if you get a coin, you're just screwed. You're just screwed. Speaking of being screwed, one item slot means that if you get an item and it's not a good one, again, you are screwed. I objectively think this is a bad idea. I don't like it from a gameplay perspective, but I guess we'll see when the when the game comes out and we see more about it.
Assuming it's real, of course.
Yeah, like Double Dash and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I feel like 2 item slots, it just kind of makes sense. It makes the game more interesting, and I don't really understand this decision, but
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really strange. I kind of don't like how they're changing like the core gameplay rather than like the gameplay gimmick this time around. I don't know. I mean, I like that they're not doing coins, like hypothetically, of course. Like, I like that they're doing no coins because I kind of found that a little dry in terms of like, like you said, if you're in first and you use a coin, it's like, oh, great. And then you just have like no item. So that's interesting, but yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of like the gimmick of the game, this game's potential gimmick is there are 2 different item boxes. There's the small one and the big one. And the small one hands you, your average item, like a single red shell or a mushroom or whatever. And then if you get a big one, it gives you a more powerful version. Like, instead of a single green shell, it'll give you triple green shells. Instead of a mushroom, maybe triple mushrooms, or maybe a gold mushroom. And apparently, passing through the box while holding an item upgrades the item. So if I pass through an item box while holding a green shell, it goes up to a triple green shell. Or maybe if I pass through an item box holding a mushroom, it goes up to a triple mushroom. Then if I pass through another one while holding a triple mushroom, it goes up to a gold mushroom. I think that's really cool. I think it adds a definite new mechanic to the game, which is kind of, do I want to use this item now or wait, potentially get screwed because I'm waiting, but get a better item later on?
Yeah, it's... I said at the beginning that I liked the change because I like them switching things up, but I don't know. I kind of like the random roulette wheel of go through an item box and, you may get a bullet bill, you may get a coin,
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost putting too much, like, I don't know. I don't like change, so it's a bit weird. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think,
Fair.
PJ?
It's weird. It's really tough, dude. It's really tough because you're like changing the core of the game. Like, I really do like that kind of roulette idea. But when you're going to a big box and then you just get like 3 shells, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make getting a big. It makes getting a good item feel like
not as rewarding,
less exciting. Yeah, because you're going to get a good item if you go into a big box, but then you go into a big box and you just get 3 green shells. Like, you're not going to be excited about that. You want the star.
Yeah,
you want the golden mushroom. Like, yeah.
I think you kind of just formulated what we were both stuttering over trying to say for the last minute. So yeah, I'm pretty much there. So yeah,
I agree. I think it's as with everything here, we have to see how it is done. I enjoy the idea of there being 2 different types of like items, maybe like maybe 3 times the course they're like the big items, but if the courses are long enough, like there's a bunch of other of the smaller ones. I think that is pretty interesting, but I do agree. I think the main part of Mario Kart is the randomness, and the fact that this would essentially, for the first time in the series, let you choose which item you get. Like, you could upgrade a specific item and know specifically which one it is. I don't think that would be good for a gameplay balance perspective. I like the inherent idea, but after thinking about it, they would have to make some... Yeah, they would have to make some... Well, that just makes me hate the game in general. As long as this game doesn't have Baby Park, I'm A-okay with it. I'll buy it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, man. It really will be interesting to see because, like, they are changing a lot here, potentially, right? So...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But as long as it feels like Mario Kart, then we'll all buy it and we'll all enjoy it, I feel.
For sure.
It's Mario Kart is a lot
I'm
like...
interested to see the trailer.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd say Mario Kart is you guys ever have those like easy mac and cheese, like things you just pop in the microwave?
Yeah.
Mario Kart is a lot like those. It's
it's very hard to mess up.
Really hard to mess up. However, it's still possible. My sister once almost burnt the house down by forgetting to put in the water, and it started smoking. So it's possible. It's not a home run yet, but it's pretty hard for Nintendo to screw this one up.
Yep.
I completely agree. I don't know. I don't know. I just really want to see the trailer. I really want to see the trailer.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
Have to wait and see.
For sure. Awesome.
We will have to wait and see. Hopefully E3.
I believe that was a pretty solid leak of the week or rumor of the double week. I don't know.
Leak of the week just sounds so much better.
Yeah.
Very leaky
the problem
week.
is we do it every other week though. It's a bi-weekly pod.
Leak of the bye week.
That
leak whatever.
Audio listeners,
we'll figure it out.
Please tweet us. Please let us know. We need something. I can't make the jingle until we have the name.
Yep.
I mean, it's slowing down the whole process here.
It is.
I think we have talked about Mario Kart more than enough. Audio listeners, how do you guys want to talk about some Pokemon? Everyone's favorite game series to talk about on the internet, right, guys?
Yay. Hell yeah. I'm excited. I love Pokemon. It's like favorite series, I think. Even though I'm very critical of it. So today we're going to be taking a look at all of the mainline series Pokemon games, including, the remakes, and I just also added in Coliseum and XD just to fit the space, of course. And we are going to be putting it in a bit of a bracket matchup to see what is truly the best Pokemon game of all time. So, yeah. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So, guys, first matchup, Red and Blue versus Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I think I know where I'm going here.
All right. I have not played Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, so I can't talk.
Let me just clarify. I would like to make this very clear. We are going to be ranking these games off how good they are to play today, not how good they were when they came out or how impactful they were, all those things. Regardless, I still think Red and Blue are more fun to play than Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I do not like those remakes at all. That's just me personally. But hey, if you want to go with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, kick out the originals.
Style? Is it the art style?
I did not like the art style. I haven't played too much of it, so let me say that. But I did not like the art style. I really thought it felt very segmented. I think the Grand Underground is a cool idea. That little mining minigame is cool, but it's so unrelated from everything else. I think the game feels like one of the old Pokemon games, except remade with a less charming visual style, in my opinion, and some weird just hiccups that the game should not have. I don't know how to describe it. It's just visually, I think since they increased the overall resolution, obviously it's not pixel art anymore, that makes, certain animations that they didn't really update look just so bad.
Yeah. I haven't played Red and Blue. No, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very much like a casual Pokemon player. Like, I like Pokemon, but when I play, I don't go super into it. It's like I'll go beat the game and then I'll never pick it up again. So when it comes to this, I really like Kanto just because I watched the anime as a kid, but that really has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So, so what I gotta say here is I like Kanto, but I feel Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have they gotta be better games to play. That game is they're 30 years old now, right?
Yeah. It's up there. I'm probably letting my personal hatred get in the way.
Yeah. I like Kanto better. We'll probably talk when we get to Fire Red and Leaf Green, but I'd say we got to do the remakes here.
I agree.
Remakes being better or remakes going out?
No, remakes moving on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played Red and Blue, and I'll just keep this quick because I could talk for an hour about this. I have not played Red and Blue, but I know the impact of it. I think Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl are just more enjoyable to play. My main issue with the games is that it's way too faithful to the originals, rather than Fire Red, Leaf Green, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and even Heart Gold, Soul Silver being such vast improvements of the originals that you can barely tell the difference. But when I'm playing Diamond and Pearl, when I'm playing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it's pretty much the only difference is the visual. It's the exact same thing. Other than the Grand Underground, it's copy paste basically. And I mean, guys, I don't know if you know this. It is literally the exact same because there is a glitch about Shaman, getting legendary Pokemon Shaman. That was the exact same as the DS version. The exact same way to get it.
That's not good.
The exact same way.
That's embarrassing.
So it's
so
a literal copy paste of the game, but it's upscaled. And I also hate the text, but that's another Jerry Springer show.
So we're moving Red and Blue on. Yep.
Well, which one?
We gotta
start
step.
I still gotta go.
Okay.
BDSP. I'm doing that.
Next one.
All right.
Oh,
it's so easy. So easy.
Okay, so, audio listeners, it's it's Gold and Silver.
Gold and
That's
Silver
Gold and Silver,
versus
right?
Let's Go games. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going with
Gold and Silver. Moving on.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
that is tough.
My light just died.
Really?
For me,
okay, I have a lot to say.
In my life. Okay, you go ahead. I'm gonna try and fix my lighting situation.
Okay.
Keep going.
Sapphire was the first Pokemon game I ever played. I played it on my DS Lite. I put in the bottom thing, it was sticking out. I remember to this day, I really didn't go super into it. I probably got stuck at the second gym or something, but I had fun while doing it. And I'm going back and playing Emerald right now, and I'm enjoying it. But when I got back into Pokemon, it was Pokemon Sun and Moon, which I really like Sun and Moon. Wow. I know people dislike it because of the weird, there's no gyms or anything, but I thought it was creative. I thought the story was pretty interesting. I liked Sun and Moon. People need to give it more credit. It's in my opinion, it's the best 3D Pokemon game. 3D art style Pokemon game.
Wow.
Do you guys not agree?
Is that competition?
Are you aware that Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire also goes under that, or do you still think Sun
I
and
agree.
Moon? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think I like Sun and Moon, but Sapphire's going to win. Ruby and Sapphire's going to win this, so I don't care.
I just gotta go. I just gotta say no.
I gotta go Ruby and Sapphire too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's understandable.
It's understandable. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon might have a chance here, because they're just better versions of the game. Yeah. But
I disagree.
Yeah. You think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are worse? Okay, we'll get to that. Yeah. We'll get to that in a bit.
Okay, so for now, my opinion of the Sun and Moon, I believe, was the start of the downfall of Pokemon in terms of like the actual gameplay, not the sales, because we all know that it's gonna sell like hotcakes. But I think Sun and Moon was kind of the start of the end, for me at least, for the Pokemon games. So Sun and Moon I enjoyed, but Ultra and Ultra Moon was eh. But third gen GBA games, those were the first games that I played. So nostalgia reasons and just based on enjoyment, I'm gonna have to go with Ruby Sapphire here. So 2-1, Mac, you lose. I'm kidding.
Rip Bozo.
All good. Pokemon Emerald versus Pokemon X and Y. This is hard.
Emerald, okay. I say Emerald.
It's not hard.
It's not hard to me. I mean, okay. Emerald is just... I think Emerald...
is a better Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, well, objectively, yeah. I think Emerald is the best, third version of the game, not counting Platinum. I think Platinum improves on Diamond and Pearl more than Emerald improves on Ruby and Sapphire, but besides that, Emerald is, the perfect game, in my opinion, so...
Yeah. Pokemon X and Y is interesting because I'm pretty sure that was when they added Mega Evolutions, and I really, really enjoyed that game. But Emerald was the first Pokemon game I ever played, so I gotta go Emerald for sure.
All right, before we say anything here, I'm just gonna, as soon as you click the next one, PJ, I'm just gonna read them off because I just want to make sure the audio listeners somewhat have some sort of idea of what's going on. So, no, I'm just gonna read off the one we're on. So this next one we're gonna be debating is Pokemon Platinum versus Pokemon Go, the only mobile game on this list. This is so tough.
It is.
No. I mean, it's tough in terms of how can you even make an argument for Pokemon Go? It's a cool game. It's a cool game, but it's Pokemon Platinum. In my opinion, that's
it was a cultural phenomenon. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. It increased the brand of Pokemon so much. It changed, Pokemon as we know it. It was also, I think, the last game Iwata worked on. But
really? For real?
Yeah. In his hospital bed, he was helping the Pokemon company CEO. He was giving him ideas on how to make Pokemon Go.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. However, rest in peace. But it's Platinum all the way. I mean, it's just a better game.
Platinum is my favorite. One of my favorite games of all time. I gotta go Platinum. Pokemon Black and White versus Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. What do we think?
I've never played them.
Oh, okay.
I played Black and White. I've not played the GameCube game. I've seen it be played, but I've not played through it myself. So
I remember watching PJ stream it on his old channel.
Yeah.
You were doing a playthrough.
I enjoyed both. Fun fact, I was such a big Pokemon fan that when I was on vacation, my dad bought me the game, and I just played it on vacation the entire time. That's how obsessed I was with it. This is really hard though, man. Pokemon Black and White versus Pokemon XD. I think, dude, this is so hard, and nobody else has played these games.
No.
I played Black and White. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can.
I didn't play. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix my lighting.
Okay. Oh God.
He's fixing the lighting for the audio listeners.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go with Black and White just because of the story element, for sure. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is really good game in my opinion, but I just gotta go with Black and White because I think, in my opinion, the Black and White games have the best story because of N and that whole dynamic.
Oh man!
All right, so now we're on to the next round of the left side of the bracket. This is interesting.
This is interesting.
I'm gonna just say I've not played enough of Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Mac, you have not played.
Hold on. I think we should do this first. I think the site is. I think we should do the right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it.
Let's see if I can do this correctly. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just click off this. Okay. Site is new. That's my excuse. Okay, so we got Pokemon Yellow versus Pokemon Sword and Shield. So what do we think?
What did Yellow improve upon? I really can't remember off the top of my head. What did it do better than Red and Blue?
I think it's actually inferior. I think you just start with Pikachu and then you get the other starters throughout the game. But I feel like
that's weird.
I feel like it's I think it's weird, and I think Red and Blue are better games than Yellow.
Yeah. I think
in that case, I mean,
even though I hate Sword and Shield so much, it just is objectively the better game in almost every single way, even if I hate everything about it. Oh, well.
But if I'm going to play one for fun, I'd go and play Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah. I think the only issue is just accessibility. Right?
Yeah.
But hopefully Nintendo puts, Game Boy games on their NSO service and doesn't make us pay another $50 for 30-year-old games. But anyway. All right, next up here we have Pokemon Crystal versus Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about this one.
Yeah, I haven't played Pokemon Crystal. I have not.
I have. I enjoyed Crystal. I think it's a very good improvement on Gold and Silver. However, I really think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are probably the two most underrated games in the Pokemon series. Because they came out right when the Switch came out. They improved so much on Sun and Moon, in my opinion, which Sun and Moon were very flawed, but had a lot of really good aspects, and I think Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon fixed a lot of the flawed aspects. I would have to say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon beats out Pokemon Crystal here.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. I mean, I don't really like the games. I didn't even finish it. I just was bored. I'm going to be honest. I was just bored. I couldn't even finish the game. But I feel like it's just more enjoyable. I don't know. Even though I left halfway through the game, I mean, I just think they're probably better. What about you, Mac?
I like Sun and Moon. I didn't play Ultra Sun and Moon, but I think Sun and Moon are fun, and I liked Gold when I played it, so...
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, we're going with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Nice. We love to see it. Okay. This is most okay. This is hard. This is really hard. All right. We got Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red versus Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Battle of the two remake games.
Oh, no. These are...
I know what I think.
Uh-oh.
I like the Kanto remakes. I love Kanto. And I'm your basic 17-year-old girl going to Starbucks before school. I think Kanto is the best region by far. 151 Pokemon, baby.
Mac,
Let's go.
What's your favorite movie franchise?
Marvel, obviously.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Was your first movie Infinity War 2?
Oh, no. It was that really cool movie. It was like Spider-Man.
The one with Tom Holland.
No Way to Get Home? Something like that.
Okay. I know that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
That one was good, dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like Kanto.
Fair.
It's such a good region. It was remade, 3 times? Jeez.
I'm going to say this. If there was no... what's the flute called in ORAS? It's like the...
I know you're
the thing that lets you soar on the Latios and Latios. Yeah. If that wasn't in the game, I would side with you, despite the fact that they're my personal favorite Pokemon games of all time. A lot of that's based on nostalgia. They're probably I would say the Pokemon Gen 3 remakes are probably 20 years from now. They're probably going to be looking back on it. Some of the most in my top 3 of most important games to me that I ever played. Just who I was when I played them, who I played them with, blah blah blah. But I really do agree with you. I think Kanto's so good. The Eon Flute, that's it, the Eon Flute. The Eon Flute is just so good. I think it's the single best enhancement in any of the remakes ever. I have to go with the Gen 3 remakes.
Yep. All right, yeah. I mean, I have to as well. I just enjoyed Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire so much more, even though I played, Fire Red Leaf Green when I was really young. I just think like the upgrade, and it's probably to a fault, just because it's on the Game Boy Advance. Fire Red Leaf Green are, and then when you're comparing, like the GBA games to 3DS now. I mean, it's just such a significant upgrade. It's really hard to say otherwise. So I'm going to have to go with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire here as the better game. Okay. So this is actually a really hard one as well. I don't know if you guys have played the second game, but let's see. We got Pokemon Diamond and Pearl versus Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2.
I'm going to say it. PJ. I'm going to say it.
Say it.
I don't think Diamond and Pearl are amazing. I think Platinum is a lot of the reason those games are viewed as really good.
I agree.
As seen by when Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, everyone's like, where's Platinum stuff? I would have to objectively say Black and White 2 are better games. I have no nostalgic connection to either of these, but I think Black and White 2 are better.
Yeah, me too. Mac?
Awesome. Love your input.
Max nodding away.
All good.
Mac, when he hasn't played a game, Mac turns into Emmett from the Lego movie. He just like starts nodding away. He's like, yeah, man, this thing is awesome, dude.
But I have played one of these next games, and I've got to say it's probably my favorite in the series, which is not a hot take.
Soul Silver versus Pokemon Coliseum. Like, Hard Gold, Soul Silver, like, top 2 Pokemon games for me, I think. So
2 regions, and it has Kanto.
Yeah.
Move it on.
Really good. It's so good. Yeah. Hard Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
It's second only to Pokemon Snap.
True.
Pokemon Rumble U. Pokemon Quest. Anyone remember that one? Sorry, I'm just listing off the dark recesses of my brain.
So we have to decide which game is going to get a buy because we have too many games here. So I'm going to list off the games, guys. Just kind of have a mental note, and we will decide which is the best game to get the buy here. So we got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Platinum, Black and White, Sword and Shield, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Black 2, White 2, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver. What is the
personally,
best game
you go, Mac.
Personally, I would be fine with 2 of them. I'd be fine with Emerald, and I'd be fine with Heart Gold and Soul.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say the exact same thing verbatim. So
really,
it's up to you, PJ, or we can coin flip it.
I think, like, for me, it's either Platinum or Hard Gold, Soul Silver, but I gotta go Hard Gold, Soul Silver because the amount of content
I think since we all agree,
yeah, the amount of content in that game is just like insane, dude. So we're
Hard
gonna
Gold,
move that
Soul
one
Silver
on.
it is.
All right,
looks good to me.
Okay, so now we're going back to the top of the bracket here, and we have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl versus Pokemon Gold and Silver. So what do we think?
I'm just Gold and Silver here. I think.
Yeah,
really?
I like Gen 2 a lot. Yeah.
It's got 2 regions. Like, it's yeah.
But as on gameplay wise, what would you rather play?
The one with
Gold,
2
Silver?
regions.
Yeah.
That's for me at least. If you're pro Gen 4 that much,
no, it's 2-1. It's 2-1. It's all good. We're moving that one on. We're good. We're good out here.
All right,
the battle.
Gen 3 battle.
This is actually hard. So Ruby and Sapphire versus Pokemon Emerald.
it's Pokemon Emerald. Like,
it's improved.
Be, right?
It's improved in every way.
Yeah, it's just a better game. It's hard though because
Rayquaza is also the better legendary out of the 3. Let's be honest.
I'm Kyogre until
I like
die,
Kyogre.
but,
Yeah, Kyogre is my favorite of the 3. But
I'm on an
favorite
island
looking, I
this
think
entire
Kyogre
segment,
looks the best.
Cut to Mac and I earlier in this exact video, both saying Pokemon Sapphire was the first Pokemon game we played, and then cut to us saying Kyogre is our favorite legendary. No, I mean it sucks. Yeah, it sucks to kick out Ruby and Sapphire, but they're going up against the the only game in this entire list that is objectively better than those 2.
Yeah,
just because it just is. Like, it's just the same but more. So
very true.
There it is.
Okay, Pokemon Platinum versus Black and White. I'm going Platinum. I think it's the best game of all time in the series, of course.
Spoiler alert. I'm going Platinum. I don't think it's the best game. But yeah, no, I'll go Platinum. I think it's better than Black and White 1. Black and White 2 might give it a run for their money, but...
Mac?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting what you guys said. I think Platinum is a really cool game, and I think Black and White's a really cool game.
Yep, moving on. So we got Sword and Shield versus Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I just don't want Sword and Shield to advance. It has a plethora of issues I could spend an hour talking about. But I also didn't like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. But I hate Sword and Shield. So I'm going with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So what do you guys think?
Totally agree. I think the Aloha region is so much better than Galar, what is it?
Gungalar.
Galar?
Goomba?
It's the Gungalar region.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So
Yeah, Gen 7. I like Gen 7.
Thomas, you think
Also-
Sword and Shield?
I would say probably Aloha mode, but my one complaint is, and this is on us because we didn't specify this, do we include the DLC when we're talking about Sword and Shield? I don't think so, right?
No, I'm including it.
No.
No, I'm including it.
Okay.
Well, it's
Sure.
part of the game, yeah. I mean,
Drama alert.
I
don't know.
I think the DLC should have been base game in the first place. I think it's
But it wasn't. That's the problem.
no, I know. That's like the issue. What I like that I have with the game, along with the FPS and the lag and the lack of story in the wild area and the lag. Did I mention the lag?
Wait, PJ, were you pro? I forget. Were you pro Sword and Shield or were you pro Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon?
No, I want to go Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because like I don't
okay.
like Ultra
So
Sun, Ultra Moon, but I hate.
Okay,
Sword
so
and
it's
Shield.
that regardless.
Yeah.
Fine. It's Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon regardless.
Okay, all good. Okay, moving on here, we got Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire versus Black 2 and White 2, another really tough one.
Oh.
Oh no.
This is tough.
I can't
This
hear
is
anything.
actually really tough. This is really
Matt can't
tough.
hear anything. He just said
Okay,
he can't hear
I'm
anything.
back. I'm back.
He's back.
Okay.
He's back. Okay, we don't even need to cut it out. Audio listeners, you get a special blooper. Matt couldn't hear anything for about 3 seconds.
And now his webcam is frozen. All good.
Mac is dead.
Oh.
Mac
I'm
has
back?
died.
There we go.
Mac
Am
has
I
died. He's
back?
back.
Am I good?
Yeah, we're back.
Am I good?
Yep,
We're good out here.
Okay.
Okay.
So what are we talking
Now
about?
you
Let's
say
see.
you go into Black 2, White 2, and ORES, Mac. You give us your thoughts.
Black 2, White 2, and ORAS. So
And he's gone again.
I'm keeping this in. This is hilarious.
Yeah, you're gonna have some fun editing
real
this
water,
episode.
I would pick ORAS.
Oh, we got the. Just
Oh
like
my
the
God.
entire time.
You're recording, PJ. You're recording the audio for on your desktop, right? Because
Yeah.
that's gotta be in the episode. At this
What
point, just
happened?
mute Mac's Audacity because it lagged the entire time. You were illegible, could not hear a single thing, and then it comes back to you saying, "I'll pick ORAS," and it's like, all right, that's
Yeah.
all we need to
All right.
hear.
Awesome.
That's all we need.
Awesome.
Oh my God, that's so good.
All good.
Yeah, I'll go ORAS as well because
Yeah. Black 2, White 2
that's-
were so fun, but like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire is just like perfect. Like there's just no flaws. I just got to go with
yeah,
it.
that's what I'd
Okay.
say as well.
Let's see here. Okay, so now I'm stuck. What do we do? Because we have 3 and 3.
We could just do.
I mean, just
Um,
pick the best game out of the three on both sides, and then go to the finals.
That's actually true. Yeah, let's just do a shortcut. So, who wins between Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Emerald, and Pokemon Gold and Silver?
Okay, so I
I'm
played two of
easily-
these games, which is more than half.
That's hype.
What we'd like to see? Oh no. All good. We'll hear it.
It'll come through eventually.
What
Yeah.
about the two? I'm cutting out again, aren't I?
Yep.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Gold and Silver. I love the two regions you get to play in Johto and Hoenn, and I really
Kanto?
like the Pokemon. Yeah, Kanto, love Kanto. I think just the Pokemon back then, especially like Gen 3 starting to Gen 4, they feel much more like, I don't know, they get weird as it goes on, but also the rest of these are also Gen 3 and Gen 4, so I don't know why I'm arguing against them. I really like Emerald. I think the way it merges the two, Ruby and Sapphire.
All good. Okay, we actually have to fix this. We really got to fix this.
This is gonna be so funny. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I like both the games. I don't like anything.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm saying, bro.
I agree.
That's what I'm
what
saying.
I'm
You
saying.
picked the word.
Did not hear
right.
anything.
We heard something. We heard.
Well, what'd
something.
you pick? What'd you
Something.
pick?
Emerald.
Okay.
All right, that's good because I was gonna. Okay, for me, it's between Emerald and Platinum, because
Oh,
Yeah, it is. And I gotta go.
There's so many water HMs in Emerald, and they're all required all at the same time, and it's so annoying. Pick that.
But it's only Platinum. It's. I can't, dude. I love Emerald so much. Okay, I'm gonna say. Let me make this very clear. Speaking from an entirely objective point of view, I guess I would have to take Platinum. I guess I would. But
I think so.
Emerald is also probably my favorite game of all time, so it really pains me to say that. I just think, just move Platinum before I regret my decision.
So I'm sending this to the final, right?
Yeah, just move that before I cry.
All right, this is really difficult. All right, so we got Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So I think we agree that one is out of the picture.
I'm cutting out again.
Oh, that's fun.
He's back in business. Mac,
is he back in business?
He's back in business.
You know, maybe it's just telling me you don't know anything about Pokemon. Might as well just cut out 1,000 times. You don't need to hear my input. You know what I'm going to say? Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Kanto and Johto. Love it.
Beautiful. And Hoenn, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hoenn.
Can't forget how that was in that game, as you said last time.
So,
audio listeners. Wait, I said that last time? Yeah. I don't know.
All good. Dude, all good. All good. It's all good. It really is all good. And he froze again.
He froze on the facepalm.
Just got out again. Oh, damn it.
He froze on the facepalm, dude. It's still there.
Oh, it's back. Okay, go, PJ. We gotta end this segment ASAP.
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That's out of the picture. Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Hard Gold, Soul Silver. I mean, I'm gonna have to go Hard Gold, Soul Silver. I mean, that game is just so good. It just improves so much upon the originals, but it's really hard to pick between Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and that game because they both kind of do the same thing. But Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire does it at a better rate just because you're going from GBA to 3DS, and it's just so pleasing to look at, I guess. And the Eon Flute is really fun as well. So I think this pains me to say, but I'm gonna have to go with Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire here.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I thought my opinion wasn't gonna matter, but Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. That's what I have to say. So now,
all right,
we have.
Here we go.
I forgot. Wait, do we have? Oh no, we're good. Okay,
yeah, we're good.
I got confused for a second. All right, the finals. After technical difficulties, Discord itself trying to get us to stop doing this Pokemon list, the entire internet waving their pitchforks on fire because no one likes when other people have opinions about this series in particular for some reason. We have brought it all down to Pokemon Platinum and Pokemon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Do we want to even explain our reasoning or just say the games? Just say it.
I think we should explain we should explain because it's the final. It's the final.
Okay, fair enough.
That's why. So, okay. Thomas, go ahead. What do you think?
For me personally,
it's tough.
It is tough. However, it's also at the same time too easy for me because I knew from the very beginning I was going to say Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I really do think they're the best games in the franchise. I think these are both remakes in a sense, right? Like we can agree that Platinum is essentially, it's not a remake, but it's an enhanced edition of Diamond and Pearl.
Mm-hmm. And the most recognized for sure.
Yeah, it's the most, is it? Yeah,
it's the most gameplay.
I agree. I'd say it's probably the most popular, even though not like the most sales, I don't think, or anything like that, but it's the most when people think of Pokemon, at least currently, I think a lot of people think of the game Platinum. Mm-hmm. However, I gotta say Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, I think, I would say musically, I mean, here's my quick ranking. I would say graphically, I think they're about equal. Musically, I like the way Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire looks. Improvements on the previous games, I think they're about equal, and then just on the previous game, so like Ruby and Sapphire versus Diamond and Pearl, I like Ruby and Sapphire more. So I gotta go with Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Like, I just think it's an overall better game. Did I cut out?
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Okay.
Mac froze. No. When you were talking, Mac froze, and I just saw him frozen, and I could just see the sign of disappointment right before the freeze. It's like he could hear the robotic voice, and he knew it was coming, so he just made the face, and he just.
Okay, I get a good, 30, 45 seconds before...
Go, Mac, go!
Oh. No, he doesn't.
out, so I'm just going to say what I have to say. I have not played Platinum, but I don't really care. I like Hoenn, and I like the Pokemon, and Pokemon's a good game. Oras.
Okay, well, I was going to go with Platinum, but...
Boo, you suck!
So does your internet. So I'm going to go with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire here because that's the winner. There you go.
Let's go! Okay, we have to end this segment immediately. Mac's internet is broken. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on the YouTube video, if you're on the audio, I don't even care because we about to keep going. So,
oh boy, God, let's talk about something that isn't Pokemon. I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
No more Pokemon because that just ruined Mac's internet forever.
Anyways, I can run the Q.
No, you can't.
No, he can't. So, heading into the questions today, boys, we have an interesting one. Mac, please protect your router because this is a question about Pokemon. But it's also apparently specifically aimed at PJ, so neither of us are allowed to even talk. PJ, how do you think Legends Arceus will turn out? Arceus or Arceus? I don't know how it's called, but whatever.
It's Arceus, and if you say Arceus, the British people will get mad at you. So,
okay.
Dude, I give you guys permission to answer the question after me, of course.
I don't.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Legends Arceus is scary for me because Game Freak has this weird perception that they're developing games for the PS5 and not the Switch. And the main concern of that is, the first trailer here for, Pokemon Legends Arceus, you can literally see FPS lag in the Pokemon floating in whatever this would be considered to be like the quote-unquote wild area or whatever. Just like on a specification level of the Switch, it just seems like the system just cannot run like Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus outside of battle. It's really confusing to me. The game itself, it's an interesting concept. I'm excited to play it, just in terms of again, it is that new kind of concept of game, but I'm cautiously optimistic, coming off of Sword and Shield, this being in the same engine and stuff like that. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm kind of suspecting this is going to be kind of a 5 to 6 out of 10 kind of game for me, which might be a little disappointing here, but we'll see when it actually comes out on the 28th here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for it as well. But I'm not going to answer the question. Not allowed to. And Mac, his internet won't let him. So next question.
I can't talk about Pokemon.
It's too good.
All right. So next question here from Random Garage Films asking, do you think it would be smarter for Nintendo to release a Switch Pro next year and release games for the normal and Pro, or release a Switch 2.0 and cut off support to the normal Switch? So Thomas, go ahead.
You had me until the cutoff support. I think that's just an objectively bad idea considering the Switch has sold almost 100 million units at this point. I think whatever they do, it's going to kind of blur the lines between Switch Pro and Switch 2. I think we're kind of out of the age of console generations. You can specifically see this with Xbox, with like the Series X, the Series X, S, X, the One X, like they're all so terribly named, but they all kind of have backwards compatibility and can for the most part play the same games. So it really, I think we're just not going to, like, whatever Nintendo does will have backwards compatibility, and for a while, like I'm talking multiple years after they release their next thing, I think most of the games they release will still be able to be played on the base Switch. So I think in that case, the former.
Yep.
So, Thomas, everything you said sounds great, but it makes too much sense. Of course they're going to go 2.0. Like, when has Nintendo ever been on, like, staying with current times? Because, all these generations, they're, like, moving towards, like, the car model where you don't have to buy one every year, but you have to get one, like, eventually, like, maybe every, like, 5, 7, 10 years, Yes. Nintendo's not going to do that. They're going to go to the 2.0. They're going to cut off support. It would be great if we'd got a Switch Pro that was backwards compatible and had all these cool things, but I don't see that happening. I see not next year, but 2-3 years. Personally, I think a Switch 2 is definitely in the works.
For sure.
Awesome.
And when we kind of look at that console release schedule, Mac, like I was telling you about last episode, the years of releasing each Switch, the original Switch being in 2017, Switch Lite being in 2019, and in 2021 we got the OLED version of the Switch, which would, mean if it continues in that pattern, we get a new Switch in 2023. So it would be interesting to see if they're going to, kind of wait a year, do it 2024, or they're going to do it in 2023. But I think it's I think it's inevitable at this point that we're going to get some sort of new Switch console at that time. And Thomas, exactly like what you said, makes sense, but I doubt they're going to do it. I mean, because, logically, the games would not run as well on the original Switch because, the original Switch's library is, questionable in terms of like FPS for some games, including Breath of the Wild at some points and Sword and Shield, like I kind of went on about a couple segments ago. So maybe you could have, the new games from whatever the Switch 2.0 would be on the old console, and just the new console would, make it perform better. But I don't know. I think they probably will cut off support to the normal Switch eventually, which will kind of suck, but typical Nintendo, and we know how they are. All right. So last question here from LJ Mags 9 asking, in your opinion, what are the chances of a Platinum DLC for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? What do you think they should call it?
You really had to pick all the Pokemon questions, didn't you?
There was none. There was people just spamming memes.
Oh.
It's true.
Well, you guys should ask us questions in the Discord or on Twitter. And you will
It's
probably
not
be
a bad
featured,
question.
apparently.
Not trying to talk to LJ Mags. I'm just I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think DLC's coming to. I think that game was kind of like a throwaway game before Arceus, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Yeah,
my opinion.
I agree. I think that was something that they did, that the Pokemon Company tasked on ILCA or whatever, just so they could have
ILCA,
just so they could have some sort of game out before the holidays, and it was very clear to them, I guess, Legends Arceus was not going to be ready for the holidays. So
yeah. I wish, but in reality here, Platinum DLC for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl would just mean the Distortion World, which wouldn't make sense because Giratina is available when you're catching all those legendaries. I'm forgetting the exact name of the place where you go to the shrines and everything, but Giratina is there. And what else includes a Platinum DLC? Arceus, and Arceus is getting its own game. So I don't know what the point would be for that. So I don't think the DLC will happen. It's kind of unfortunate in my opinion, but is what it is. Because obviously Pokemon Company, Game Freak pushing Legends Arceus, and I hope it looks better than I've seen in trailers and all that. So we shall see what happens. So yeah.
All right. With that out of the way, that was the last question, right, PJ?
Mm-hmm. That is
Well,
correct.
in that case, audio listeners, thank you all so much for listening. I'm so grateful that we have a nice base on the audio listeners that can kind of just listen to whatever we say, because on the YouTube stuff, I'm sure you guys can even hear it when we switch into segment mode or whatnot. We don't we kind of feel like we're recording a video, and that's because when we did the podcast originally, we feel like we got to kind of keep it fast paced and whatnot. But I like just sitting back and talking. I don't know if you guys can hear that massive motorcycle. Yeah, okay. I like just kind of sitting back and talking and shooting the stuff with Mac and PJ, and it's
family
awesome
friendly show.
Yeah, we always would just have these conversations in the call anyway, while we're planning stuff or working on videos.
And you
so
guys
it's
are
just
gonna
awesome.
enjoy it. So
it's just awesome. I love the setup we got here. Hopefully, this was a good audio listening experience. As always, please comment, literally either just tweet at us, say good podcast, or don't, and tweet on us and say this episode sucked. The podcast in particular is something we're really looking on feedback for all the time. We're striving to get better because it's not really something any of us have a deep background in, which isn't really the same for videos. It's cool. It's awesome. With that out of the way, I think that's it for me. I guess to bookend it,
I'm gonna give a little announcement, a little quick announcement
for it.
for what we're doing. We are making our presence on TikTok, so follow us at Nintendo Tonight. We'll be posting soon. Audio listeners only, of course.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Audio listener special.
Uh-oh.
I guess that after that leak,
after
that leak, huge leak that is just devastating. I don't know why you leaked that. One of you has to take us out. Has to conclude this up because I didn't open it, so I'm not allowed to close it. Those are the laws. All right.
Before we go, I just want to say, everybody go look up at PJ_switched up and just hit him with the DM, chatting him up, it could be fun. And with all that said, this has been episode 27 of the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you in episode 28, hopefully in 2 weeks. So yeah, see you guys.